Here in Australia, or probably anywhere really, you get a bit of wildlife coming in the backyard. So what have we got here? Oh, it's a couple of possums. Hey, look at that, isn't that cute? Bit of native wildlife here, just having a feed on the thing that I left out by accident. So that's all good and well, you know, they're doing their thing, and as long as the possums don't come in my house, I'm happy with that. They're fine, they can just have a look at the backyard, they don't hang around long, and they disappear again, climbing on board and getting ready to go. So that is good. That's totally fine, and I'm happy with that. Again, as long as they stay away from my actual house. But this set of eyes doesn't belong to a possum. This is one of the neighbour's cats. Now this is certainly an uninvited guest, and you can hear that noise it's making. Well, I heard that when it did it, and it was only 7:30 at night, so I was home and I was awake, and I just heard that cat making that noise. So I came outside to see what was going on exactly. But of course, by the time I turned the light on and, you know, started heading outside, the cat did a runner. Now I don't know what I was trying to achieve by going up to where it was, because it was long gone, and I couldn't actually see down here anyway. I just thought I'd look and, I don't know, pull a mean face anyway, but couldn't find it. Well, as it happens, this cat likes to come by my place all the time. It makes itself quite at home here, spends quite a lot of time just mucking around and doing whatever it wants really, which is a bit cheeky if you ask me. So in that same area where I have possums, there's also cats. Okay, now this is sped up because, you know, it spent ages there, but it pretty much makes itself feel at home, you know, sticking its nose in there, seeing what's going on in my house. So this is not on. Of course it goes wherever it wants, and this is what annoys me about cat owners, is that they just don't care. So here it is, rubbing all its manky crap onto my path in the backyard there, flicking its fleas and licking its ass and doing whatever the hell else it wants. So I had to do something about this, but wasn't quite sure how to go about it. I had a few options, but wanted to keep it legit. Then it just so happens that on Halloween, someone came trick-or-treating, but not exactly. A woman from the council rocked up and said, "Do you have cats?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Do you have other people's cats coming in your yard?" And I said, "Well, funny you should say that, yes." And she goes, "Right, we can lend you a cat trap, because they're not allowed to do that." I said, "Keep talking." Well, anyway, she pointed out the brochure that they've put in letterboxes before that tells you the rules of owning cats, and the biggest one here is it's got to stay on their property. Now, that's obviously not happening here, so what I did was took matters into my own hands, and I set up a camera. So you may remember I set up a home security system with cameras. Well, I bought an extra camera just for a spare for things like this. So I'm setting it up on a tree here, just zip tying it to the bit of a trunk that's left, and the connector there into the Cat5 cable isn't going to get damaged because, well, it just doesn't rain, so it's not going to get wet. And here's the cage that the council lent me. So I set the trap up. I put it on a 45-degree angle to start with, which might not have been the best, but that's how I started. So what do we got here? Well, there's an orange cat, ginger cat, whatever you want to call it. It's a manky cat. And like the other one, it just makes itself at home. Now I thought I'd be onto a winner here because it was going near the trap. Had a bit of a look in, but didn't actually go for whatever I had in there. I think it was either sardines or turkey or something. But anyway, this cat just had a look and kept on moving. So there's one that got away. Now along comes that other cat. I'm pretty sure it's the other cat. Sometimes it has a collar and sometimes it doesn't, so I can't be 100% sure it's the same one, but I'm pretty sure it is. So same thing as that ginger thing. It came along, had a bit of a sniff around, and it got a bit sus. I thought again that I'd catch this one, but it just didn't go in there. I think possibly because they were still getting used to the fact that this trap looked out of place. It was new and they were probably getting used to it. But anyway, this one also just sniffed around a bit. Had a closer sniff than the ginger one, but either way it just kept walking. So again, no cat today. Now here comes the cat again, this time at night, but this time I've put the trap parallel to that back wall there in the hope that it might feel more comfortable about going in. So after it jumps down and has a brief stare at the toad there, I again thought I'd be onto a winner. So the toad just flew into the fence there, but the cat just kept on walking. So I was frustrated by now because the cats are around, the trap's there, but they just didn't go in. Now a bird popped by and cleaned up the old bits of meat that were in there, and it wasn't heavy enough to set off the trap, so it just went in, grabbed some leftovers and took off again. Now back at night time, here's our old possum friend again. Now this isn't what I want to catch, but you know, I know there's possums around, as I've seen before, and it has a quick inspection of the toad as well as the cage. Oop, there goes the toad. And this fella decided to go in, so he got caught. Of course, he didn't really care straight away, he's into the food. It wasn't until later that he realised he couldn't get out. It was interesting that he was moving one of the locks up there, and had he done both sides at the same time, would have got out, but couldn't see that happening. Anyway, morning came along, and excuse the arse there, but you know, I just went out there and opened up the cage and just let him go out in his own time. And it took about 8 minutes before he felt like leaving, but you know, freedom was there, so off he went. And if you notice, it also goes along the same path as the cats do. And this is what you don't want. The cats and the possums, I mean, cats sort of destroy stuff, and we want to look after the possums, so really got to try and get those cats. So here we go again. It's that most frequent visitor cat. And again, it's sniffing around. I had roast chicken in there this time, because I heard that cats liked a bit of roast chicken. And believe me, it didn't get much, but it did get a bit. So you can see there that it really wants it. So coming around the side here, is this the one? Yep.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
Having a nice bit of roast chicken. Now that was 3:30 in the morning. So by the time I got up and noticed there was a cat there, I came out to it to get ready to take it to the council, and it was getting mad. This is where I'm starting to walk towards the cage, so it saw me walking towards it, and it just went ballistic. And you know, this is what you don't want out in the wild. Bloody creature like this. Now excuse the lack of shirt because it was first thing in the morning and bloody hot, but look at that cat go. I mean, that's just mental. Right, now getting ready to take it back to the council. I just threw it in the back of the car with something down in case it made a mess, which it didn't, which was lucky. It just enjoyed a bit of subwoofers on the way, and that was that. So when I took it into the council, they were very thankful. I mean, this is what they wanted. They come around door knocking because they want to round up the cats. Obviously, I wasn't the only one who had cats around the place. Someone had called the council and had done their door knock. So there it is, me and the cat heading off to the council to give it some new friends for a little while.